Bermuda Triangle effect, it could happen any time to anyone. I recognize that many skeptics and debunkers view the Bermuda Triangle as a non-mystery. They attribute all the missing airplanes and ships to mechanical failures, human error, or bad weather. They reject anything that exceeds known physical laws. Certainly, in some cases, they are correct. However, to dismiss all that has occurred as a non-mystery shows a lack of willingness to look closely at cases such as mine. As William James once said, "If you wish to upset the law that all crows are black, you mustn't seek to show that no crows are. It is enough if you prove one single crow to be white." It only takes one white crow to prove that all crows are not black. As I've often said, if any of those researchers had been flying with me on that day in December 1970, they would have a considerably different view on the matter. Skeptics also point out that similar disappearances involving planes and ships have taken place outside the boundaries of the Bermuda Triangle. In this case, I agree wholeheartedly. In fact, the Bermuda Triangle story is like the final twist in a good mystery, in which the vanquished antagonist surprisingly reappears elsewhere, setting up a sequel. That's exactly the case. Rather than turning into a non-mystery, the phenomenon extends well beyond its triangular boundaries. I've received dozens of stories from people who have encountered what I call electronic fog, and some of the people have experienced time warps and teleportation. Some of the events occurred in the legendary waters off the east coast of Florida, but others happened elsewhere, including the Pacific Ocean, Lake Michigan, and on land. In essence, there is no actual Bermuda Triangle, but places throughout the world where warps in the space-time continuum appear on occasion, sometimes with baffling consequences. From my years of research, I'm convinced these mysterious events that seem outside the realm of possibility could happen virtually anywhere. That includes the Indian Ocean, where Malaysian Flight 370 disappeared. In Beyond the Bermuda Triangle, I'll take you firsthand, step by step, through my experience. You'll hear about what I saw, what I felt, and how I reacted. I'll also tell the stories of other pilots and boat captains, as well as the tales of people who have encountered the fog while walking at night on a golf course or driving their cars in remote areas. I'll include stories from famed pilot Charles Lindbergh and aeronautical author Martin Caidin, and even Christopher Columbus. I'll take you to meet physics professor David Paris, a former Army meteorologist who believes my experience holds an important key to creating a warp drive that can take us to the stars. Amazingly, Paris is building such a ship in his garage. I know that some listeners will find these stories hard to believe. That's especially true when we enter the realm of UFOs and their possible involvement in breaches of the space-time continuum. I can't prove what happened to other people whose stories I've included, but I know what happened to me. In my case, I was stunned by the behavior of an enormous cloud that seemed to be chasing me, that seemed to be sentient, conscious, by the fog that surrounded the plane mile after mile, by the malfunctioning of all my electronic equipment, including 2 compasses. When we contacted Miami Radio, the tower informed us that the weather between Bimini and Miami was clear, and there was no plane on the radar. What? How could that be? Then things got even stranger and more disturbing. I'll explain it all in detail in the first chapter. I know this story because I've been thinking about it almost every day since it happened. Chapter 1. The Journey. The island. It's the largest and least populated island in the Bahamas, larger than all the others put together. There's a mystique about the place, an island with its own mythology. Yet Andros Island is not as widely known or visited as the tourist destinations of Nassau and Freeport. It's mostly forested with hundreds of tiny islets and 178 blue holes, entrances to a vast underwater cave system that pockets the island. I'll talk more about the...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.